Communicating interpersonally is a skill. We've been studying IPC for the past 16 weeks, and the content in the class has changed me for the better. In this digital story, I'm going to highlight 3 course concepts that I plan to apply to my personal and professional life. The first concept that resonated with me is hurtful communication. According to Evangelisti research, she suggests that a person's sense of hurt is associated by a sense of vulnerability. Feeney stated hurt is provoked by relational transgressions, which implies low relational satisfaction to the victim of hurtful communication. To better understand how I personally have communicated hurt, I asked my significant other, Jackie, for feedback. Although she didn't want to be on camera, this is what she said. Eddie, where do I begin? It hurts me when you say you need space while we're laying on the bed. It also hurts me when you're not honest about me with your emotions. And lastly, I sometimes feel I'm not a priority in your life. From first-hand experience and the literature from IPC, I've tried my best to stop being a hurtful communicator. Now, I think before I talk. It's unoriginal, but it's helped me in my romantic relationship. I catch myself stopping mid-sentence and being mindful of the consequences that can occur from sending that hurtful message. I've noticed that Jackie and I are getting into fewer arguments because of this adaptation. The second concept that resonated with me was emotions. Emotions and communication go hand in hand. According to Gottman's system for analyzing emotional expressions in marital interaction, emotions are often expressed via nonverbal messages. Some examples include eye rolls, change in pitch, and head movements. Other research on IPC and emotions suggests feeling happy promotes overall social ability. Lastly, Anderson, Keltner, and John suggest emotional similarity leads to emotional convergence, which in turn facilitates emotional open communication, mutual trust, and relationship satisfaction. Like Jackie mentioned before, I'm not great at communicating my emotional state. However, I've attempted to work on it. I've grown as an emotional interpersonal communicator by letting my guard down and putting myself in situations that cause me to communicate emotionally. For example, I bring up topics like marriage, life goals, and prior traumatic events with people I feel safe around to trigger my emotions. As the months have gone by, I've noticed it's easier for me to tell people how I feel. I'm also more comfortable putting myself in emotional situations with my family and friends. Because of this, my relationships have grown stronger over time. The final concept that resonated with me was positive communication. Before this class, I never focused on the positive effects of IPC. Now, I try to be as supportive, encouraging, and complimentary as possible. There is an abundance of research that suggests numerous positive outcomes from sending compliments, such as increasing the receiver's self-esteem and overall relationship satisfaction in friendships, marital relationships, and romantic partners. Therefore, I've applied positive IPC concepts in the classroom as an instructor. When I first started teaching, majority of the feedback was negative. Now, I tend to write more encouraging and complimentary notes to my students to increase their self-efficacy. I acknowledge their improvements in the class and try to be as compassionate as possible when they're having problems outside of the classroom. Since applying these concepts, I've noticed that my rapport with my students has increased and they tend to communicate with me more about concerns in their personal life. In conclusion, interpersonal communication has changed me for the better. The research on hurtful emotion and positive communication has shown me how these concepts have an impact on our community. As individuals with a mastery level of IPC, it's our responsibility to apply and share these concepts. We need to advise people that hurtful communication has direct relationships with societal problems like mass shootings, bullying, and suicides. Also, we need to explain the benefits of communicating about emotions with young boys and girls and the positive effects of them. Conclusively, as professional positive communicators, we need to model to our children, students, and peers effective communication skills to help them spread the love and care to the world.